Guides. My name is Paulo. I am joined today by Kieran as usual. We are live on Across the Pond, episode 29. This is a bit of a shorter episode due to the university life. As you can see, Kieran has fully moved in. Yep. How you liking it, man?
I love it here, man. It's actually really, it's different. The town where I lived was about as boring as they get. There were more old people than anything else there. We had like 6 old people's homes in one town of like 3,000 people. There were that many of them. And then here it's just like there's always something going on, and just in general it's actually a pretty cool place to live. And yeah, shit's good. I am all moved in. Mercifully, my room is still relatively tidy. I haven't let it get messy yet, so I didn't.
Don't let it get messy. Messiness is.
Yeah. It's messy down in sort of that corner over there where you can't see, but other than that, it's fairly clean. So I'm quite proud of myself. It's been a week and a day, and it's still fairly clean.
Solid. That's impressive. So I guess for everyone out there, I don't know if you care, but do you want to tell them about your internet to real life meeting?
Yeah. So yesterday I went to, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know exactly what happened because I was tweeting all day. I went to London for Eurogamer Expo, which is, a big computer game convention and stuff. It's sort of like mini E3 or PAX or all those things. And this is really putting me off because I'm looking that way, my camera's there now. So it's like, okay, look at the camera. Yeah, so I went to a Eurogamer Expo, and while I was there, well, not while I was there, technically beforehand, something that I've been planning to do for a while, was meet up with Liz Zadolfin, someone who has guested on the show before. I think it was episode 24, maybe?
23, I think.
23, yeah, and she flew over to England, so she comes to the convention and do other stuff in London, and so I met up with Liz, who she's not just someone that guests on the show. She is actually a very good friend. We've been friends for 4 years now, something like that. 3.5, 4 years.
That's insane.
Yeah. Well, since we first had contact, I think it was sort of late 2010. So maybe not quite 4 years, about 3.5 years. We've been friends. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna drop a random picture in the chat. Why not? People can see.
And then Kieran, in almost exactly 3 months.
Yes, 3 months. 3 months tomorrow.
We will the epic bro meeting. We'll be there for 8 days, and I think on a day Liz is also planning to come down. We'll meet up with Perfect Lemonade. Most of you guys know him as Andrew, and then I don't know if you guys remember Bradley, also known as Tactical Insertion. He was a guest on episode 17. We will be meeting him on the 6th, and he'll be staying with me for a couple of days, which is pretty exciting. So
January's going to be a pretty hype time. There's so much going on, and I'm sure we'll make a lot of ATP content. I know I promised on many shows, I wish I could deny it, but there is video evidence. I promised on about 3 different shows I would vlog while I was at Eurogamer with Liz to sort of get
that never happened. No,
I didn't even try. Like, I did the same last year. I said I was going to vlog it last year, and I didn't. And then this year I was like, yeah, I'll definitely vlog it this year. I'll have Liz there too, and she'll help me, and she will, motivate me to do it. And just, no, we were just hanging out, and we just didn't do it.
That's right, man.
So yeah, that was the thing that happened. I didn't play that much, unfortunately. The queues were incredibly long. Longest I saw Dragon Age, Inquisition, and Shadow of Mordor both had queues that were 3 hours for about a 15-minute demo of the game. So we weren't bothering with that, but we played a few games. We played Assassin's Creed Rogues, which there's a lot of speculation over that one because I fucking hate you sometimes. But yeah, there's a lot of speculation over that one because obviously that's going to be a 360 and PS3 only game. It's not going to be on next gen. So not a lot of people were sure how that game was going to be. But it's decent. It plays well. It's a lot more like Black Flag than any of the others. Because it's still got a lot of the sailing and the pirate scene and stuff. So story-wise, I don't think you'll. I don't, and gameplay-wise as well. I don't think you'll match like Assassin's Creed 2 or Unity, if that's any good. So.
But wait, there are 2 new ones coming out? What?
Yeah, there's one for next gen and one for old gen.
Oh.
So. Because, you know, making one game to release on both is too mainstream these days.
You gotta switch it up. I mean, I feel like the gaming industry at this point, I feel like there are so many options, because it's not like the PS3 and the Xbox are completely out of date, you know? It's like, there's so much technology out there that is still very viable. For example, like, you have the iPhone 4S, and that, at this point, is 3 years old. And in the technology world, it's completely outdated, but in reality, it's an amazing phone, and it'll get everything you need done. It'll keep you, I mean, it keeps you in touch with me 24/7. It keeps you in touch with anyone. So I feel like at this point, there's so much technology out there that you really, you know, you're not going to feel left behind if you don't have all the latest consoles, all the latest phones, etc., etc.
See, for me and you, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. We've both sort of converted to PC gaming now, and I mean, I'll get a PS4 eventually. I'm not interested in the Xbox One at all, but so that'll happen eventually. But to be honest, the console that interests me most now is the Wii U, just because I want to get it for stuff like Mario Kart, Smash Bros. Saw a little bit of didn't play it unfortunately, but saw a bit of Splatoon, which actually looks really fun. So yeah, there are a few games coming up, but none of the Xbox One exclusives interest me that much. I've never been a Halo fan, or Forza doesn't look that great, so I'll probably get a PlayStation 4 for general gaming and for Little Big Planet.
Oh my god, you are 5 years old.
That is a game me and Liz did play at Eurogamer, and that game is amazing.
When you think about all the games you like, you are seriously like 7 years old.
Yeah, well, you can go fuck yourself. I don't care. I play what I enjoy. I enjoy playing stuff like Mario Kart and Pokemon and Little Big Planet, you know. And I'll still come on to, you know, Call of Duty multiplayer and kick your ass, you know.
Okay.
That's the thing. I play games from every generation. I still play the games from when I was, you know, when I was young. And you know, new ones still come out, and anyone that can judge me for having both the new Pokemon. It's like, what's weird?
This is this kind of stuff that kids are growing up with, and they're like 10 and 11 and 12. And I think about it, like, we've been around for so many generations of games and of technology. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we were kids, video, like cassettes and VCRs, VHS were still things, and then we went to DVDs, and now we're on Blu-ray, and now we have everything on our tablets, on our phones, and everything like that. I just think it's funny, you know. Like,
see, the thing is, sticking with gaming for a second, I can't think of any new games that have come out recently that are gonna stand that test of time as well as stuff. Maybe not our generation. Maybe I'm thinking it's a bit earlier, but stuff like Mario and Legend of Zelda. I mean, like, Pokemon is my generation. Like, that's a game that's still going to be going 10, 15 years from now. But I don't see any of the brand new franchises that are coming out that are still going to be standing that test, still going to have such iconic characters 10, 15 years from now. I mean, I can't think of any.
I also think that, I mean, this goes kind of for really a lot of art in general, is that when something is like the first thing, it's always like, it's always more respected, more revered. Like, you take a game like Zelda or Ocarina of Time, or the first like Mario Kart, or first Mario game, or anything like that. It's always, there's like so much more respect for it because it was the first to do X, the first to do Y. And then you take a band like everyone's always gonna remember Pink Floyd, you know, because they combined all these electronic and synthetic sounds with classic rock. And there are so many bands that do that now, but, you know, 50 years from now, everyone's gonna remember Pink Floyd, and all the bands that have, you know, come in between are, you know, they're not really going to be remembered. So I feel like the first games to do X and Y, and the first anything to do X and Y are going to be far more remembered. It's kind of like with YouTube, really. You know, if you're the first one to do something, you're going to get a lot more popular than the people who may even do it better.
Yeah. And that sort of reminds me, actually, while we're at Eurogamer, Syndicate had his own little booth. And the queue for Syndicate was one of the biggest in the entire convention center. I mean, people were queuing for 3-4 hours
just to meet him.
Just to meet him and get a photo.
This is a regular guy. Like,
yeah, and like me and Liz, we were sat outside, and then we saw that this big. Cause we did that quite often. We'd go outside because it was obviously hot and stuff. So we'd go outside and just hang out for a bit. And so all of a sudden, we see this big crowd sort of over a few meters away from us, and we're trying to work out what it is. Because there's like this big crowd of people sort of our age. There's like bodyguards there and stuff. And then all of a sudden, you just see this little head poke out as like 5'8" Syndicate is right in the middle of it. He literally walked out the convention. I think he was supposed to be leaving the convention, and he just got completely mobbed. And it's just absolutely crazy how someone who made a name posting videos on YouTube is literally a celebrity. Like, there's no way around it. I know a lot of people say, oh, you know, internet fame is real fame, but when you can barely walk through the street without getting recognized, when you get mobbed at a convention to the point where you can't do anything and you have to have 3 bodyguards with you, you know, that's celebrity.
I mean, so many people know who he is. Like I'm not even subscribed to him, and I know who he is. I know all about him, and there are plenty of people I'm sure who know who he is without being subscribed to him. In addition to that, there are 8 million people who are subscribed to him. I think it's 8 million, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's absolutely crazy. And we've talked about Syndicate before on the show. It is very much, he got as big as he is because he was one of the first. I mean, sure, he's talented, yeah, and he's good at what he does, and he knows exactly how to work, you know, the viewers and whatever. But if he'd have started YouTube now, he would never get anywhere.
I mean, he'd get.
I feel like he'd be one of these people that gets slight sort of viewership, so he'd get a couple of thousand, then he'd get, you know, a couple of crossover things, and then slowly grow. So eventually he'd get to, you know, the 20, 30, 40,000 people. But a lot of people get there and just sort of stay there nowadays. They don't get that growth.
There's it's like a plateau, and then there's like slow upward expansion. Then there's a boost, and then you just kind of plateau, and then until you either give up or you sell your soul to the devil to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Toasty brings up an interesting point, actually. Did you read it?
I'm reading it now.
Nice. He says, have you noticed that new games coming out do not have main characters? Destiny is the best-selling franchise of all game, and yet it has no story. People don't care about the story anymore and only care about the gameplay, no replayability. I think it goes without saying, like, that's the case for really a lot of. I mean, obviously, I feel like movies and games are really, really focused on kind of the artistic value of it, you know, because at some point everyone's like, well, what story can we make? You know, there's really no story that's completely original, you know what I'm saying? So everyone doesn't want to be cliche because they want to get big, they want to get made into something. So everyone's all about focusing on the graphics or the visuals of a story. And when it comes down to it, it's really unfortunate because everything looks really nice, but there's no substance.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like some of my favorite games and some of my favorite movies are just so focused on the story and so focused on the characters. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I think that, I mean, I will take a great story with average looking cinematography and average editing over amazing editing and amazing cinematography, but a shitty story.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's always going to make a company like Nintendo stand out, and that's why I think Nintendo will always survive, despite all the financial troubles they have and stuff. That's why they will be the ones that survive, because the PS4 and the Xbox One, effectively, it's all the same shit, shit, different console. Whereas Nintendo, they've made a name for themselves. They create these characters, they create these franchises, and when you can have, you know, a franchise so big that you just at the mention of its name, everyone knows what it is. You know, you don't get, if you were to walk into a random street and ask 20 people what Destiny was, I bet you only half of them would know. If you were to walk into a random street and ask them who Mario was, they would all know. Or if you were to ask them what Pokemon was. And I think that's the major difference. It's sort of in movies as well. It's the same sort of thing, and I think
like everyone knows what Titanic is.
Exactly. And then you've also got films like, I mean, if you ask me, Avatar, which is, I think, the best-selling film of all time.
It got eclipsed by the Avengers.
It didn't actually. No. Avengers is third.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Avatar's top, then Titanic, then Avengers. But yeah, Avatar as a story, as an actual script.
Oh shit.
It's really lackluster, but
It's
the
bad.
visuals
It's Pocahontas. It's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same sort of thing. A lot of films nowadays. I mean, I personally didn't enjoy the story that much of Gravity.
Oh yeah.
And even with the Hobbit films, to go into a series that I really like, I feel like there is so much focus on the visuals at the moment, just so you can say it stands out from Lord of the Rings. That was always going to be the problem with the Hobbit, especially with splitting it into 3 films. It was never going to be as good as Lord of the Rings in terms of story and content. So they've put so much effort into the visuals, and that's just the way films are going at the moment. That it's all about the visuals, not about the characters. And I think, honestly, that's why we've seen this rise of comic book movies, because they're about specific characters. And sure, you get a lot of really good visuals in there. I know that the second Thor film was really, really nice visually. I mean, the story was meh, but that's why I think a lot of comic book films are getting so big, because they have characters, people that you want to follow. Whereas if you were to go, I mean, you could walk into any Liam Neeson film, that the story is going to be effectively the same as every other Liam Neeson film, but there's going to be explosions and there's going to be action and adrenaline and car chases and stuff like that. Whereas with something like a comic book movie, obviously the hero is going to save the day. There's going to be an evil, they're going to beat the evil or whatever, but at the same time, it's the in-between bit, the development of the characters, and I think that's what makes them stand out. And a really good example is the latest Spider-Man film, and I don't want to spoil it, but it has been out for like 8 months now, so I'm sure everyone knows that they, at the end of the film, they kill off one of the major characters. And I feel like that was them trying to sort of single themselves out, because it's the one problem with the Marvel Universe. They killed off Captain America. He came back for Avengers. They killed off Bucky. He came back for Winter Soldier. They killed off Coulson. He came back for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They killed off Nick Fury. He came back at the end of the film that they killed him off in. Nobody ever dies. They've killed Loki twice now.
I don't know. I feel like when it comes to characters and everything like that, no one really wants to. Because if you want, Oscars and Academy Awards, they're great and everything, and they mean a lot, and they're usually awarded to movies that have really good story. But at the end of the day, it gives you recognition, it gives you credibility, but it doesn't do shit for you financially. I mean, like, great, it's awesome, it's an amazing award ceremony, but you're there at the Oscars because of your money and how successful your movies are. So I feel like even movies, because movies that do win Academy Awards are very successful when it comes to their story, but I also feel like the point, like, in order to make a blockbuster movie, to make hundreds of millions of dollars, you're going to need to combine story and visuals. Like, you take a look at Christopher Nolan's movies, who, I mean, arguably yes, he has very, very, very good stories, and the telling of the stories is incredible, but he also has very, very well done visuals and CGI and cinematics, and it's so hard because you can't really, you can't get to that point without having a lot of money, and I feel like it's limiting how big directors can get,
I'd just like to show this. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to read this. I just had a text from my brother-in-law Dale. He's not happy because I was bashing Thor 2.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. So he just, so obviously he's watching the show, so fuck you.
Come on, Dale.
Texting me during my show, telling me I'm wrong. But yeah. I had a point and then I've forgotten it now. Thanks, Dale. Anyway, let's move on. I have a couple of topics actually.
All right,
I wanted
into the meat.
to bring up. Let me just. Let's see. Nope. Actually, we did that one last week.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. Let's do. I got 3 videos, but I'm trying to choose which one's going to be best. Let's do this one. This is one that a video that sort of came to prominence in the last few days, and we've talked about something similar. But this is sort of another. Actually, no, that one's quite long, 5 minutes. Let's not do that one. Let's do the other one. I'll get there in a minute. Okay, so this is something. It's quite old, like, but I'd never seen it before, and it's one of. It's basically supposed to be. It's an advert. It's from. I don't even remember where from, but I think it's from Thailand.
Okay.
And it's basically it's been labeled the most powerful advert ever made. So
okay.
I thought we could have a look.
Okay.
Oh, and Dale's texting me again.
Where is this?
I just posted it in the Skype.
The most powerful advert ever made.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I was a media student for 2 years, and I've always been interested in stuff like that. And just, I did a whole unit on advertising, and just I wish I could have made something that good, because that was.
That's amazing. It's like the best. I mean, easily the best advertisement. I mean, it's not even an advertisement. It's like a mini movie.
Yeah, exactly. And I sort of want to talk about sort of, the message. I don't know, kind of thing. And it does have a very, very powerful message. It does have that sort of very hard hitting message that will make you think, and it's something that we sort of have always tried to put across with Across the Pond. Sort of the whole reason we got started with Across the Pond wasn't so we could mess about and do the crazy things that we sometimes do. It was so we could help people. Like initially, that was the initial idea. We both did YouTube. We both made commentaries on these YouTube channels, and we both tried to help people with them, and it just sort of became a thing. Like, we knew each other before YouTube, but it just sort of became a thing where we both enjoyed doing it. We were constantly giving each other feedback on videos and ideas and stuff like that, and then eventually Across the Pond became a thing. And it's a weird one, because I feel like it's the sort of video that no matter who you are or what your background or anything, you will have some reason why it will affect you. Like, everyone goes through rough points in their life, and everyone gets into those situations where it seems like there is no way out, and it's just sort of that message of hope, that message of you can get through it. You just got to find someone to help you. But if no one's willing to give help, then it's not going to happen. And that's sort of the thing that when you see the story of someone who has done something so small, even something as simple as donating clothes to someone who needed them, or giving them a cooked meal or somewhere to stay on a night of heavy snow. It's just, I think that sort of puts across the message, how something so small can really make a difference, I guess. And I think that's always been what Across the Pond has been about, is doing something small to make a big difference in somebody's life. And I like to think we've done that. I mean, with the we've done 2 charity streams now, and there will be a third in November. I think that's something that we both agreed on. And honestly, it's one of the things that I'm most proud of, what we've done. I mean, I think our total is at just under $1,800, which is incredible from from 2 streams that lasted 36 hours basically.
I mean, it's very incredible. I feel like we've come really, really far in our time on Across the Pond, and I feel like that commercial, a lot of people will be like, that's so extreme. Like, who's ever gonna do that? It's just so, it's so much to ask for, and people don't do that. It's such a commitment, but at the same time, it's like, it's extreme, and you probably won't have people paying $792,000 for you, but I think that the simple act of giving and giving back is I don't know. I think that a lot of people don't do it, and it's just lost in everything, because it's like, well, what do I get out of this? And oftentimes it's not really about what you get out of it. It's just kind of, how do you what am I trying to say? How do you I have no idea what I'm trying to say. It's just how you give back to people. Really, it's not even about the size of giving back, or just, I don't know, anything like that. It really should just be about making the world a better place and doing what you can to repay the favors that people do you and everything. I think one of the best quotes I ever heard about this was, "True character is defined by what you do for people who can do nothing for you." And that guy gave veggie soup and basically nothing, and basically paid for the painkillers for this kid who can do nothing for him because he's just a child. But at the same time, like, it was very, very powerful in the sense that this kid later grew up to be in a situation where he could give back, and that was something really, really, truly incredible. That's not always going to happen, no, but if we have people out there who are like that, and people who will so selflessly give them themselves because it is just the right thing to do, I think the world is going to see a very, very large increase in happiness, in this kind of shared idea of community, and people aren't going to feel so alone. Because at times, I think this relates to the whole, like, mental health awareness thing, is that when you are in such a really, really shitty place, every little thing sets you off. And there are things that may not even relate to you personally, but I feel that thinking about the world in a way that is just outside of you, and you think about how cold the world is sometimes, how cruel life is to other people, it's enough of an excuse, and it's enough of a reason to get people who are completely healthy mental wise to be sad and to fall into a rut, because the world out there and the news really portrays humanity as evil. And I feel like giving back in the simplest sense is a way to combat that, is a way to end this whole idea that people are selfish and people only have their best interests at heart.
And on the topic of you briefly mentioned earlier how it's not likely that something like that will happen. Just to sort of point it out, I did some research on, why they made the advert, what the story is and stuff, and it's a true story.
Really? Wow.
It's a true story. Like that genuinely happened. Obviously, maybe the details aren't completely 100% factual, but whatever, it did happen, and that's something that a lot of people nowadays don't seem to realize. I guess it's like, I feel like people like you and me, people who are still young, we've been brought up very much in a world where everyone is out for themselves, and everyone is out to do what is best for them, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, obviously, in your life, you have to be the most important person.
Mm-hmm.
But we've very much been brought up in a world where everyone's out for themselves, and you don't do something if it's not going to benefit you. And I think that's something that is very much lost from society these days. And I feel like something like that 50, 60 years ago may have been more likely to happen, because people just generally they cared more. And I don't want to knock on the current generation and all that crap, but in a way, yeah, the current generation is sort of ruining that, because you don't find people that go out and just do selfless acts
just for the sake of doing them.
Exactly. And like, I'm not going to go out and say I'm a godsend because I've done all like this charity work and whatever. Like, we played games for 24 hours. Like that's not work for me. That's fun.
We got to stay up. We got to stay up. We're brothers. We got to stay up and have fun and game for 36 hours. And our parents couldn't be like, go to bed, because we'd be like, Mom, Dad, it's for charity.
Yeah, like, charity, man.
Like, we're doing it for a good cause, but we're not.
At the end of the day, it wasn't. I mean, it was difficult. It was hard work, sure, but it wasn't work in the sense of it wasn't something that was going to be particularly detrimental to us. It was something that we enjoyed doing. And maybe one day we'll do something that'll be less enjoyable. Maybe one day we'll I don't know, tie Paolo up and throw stuff at him for 24 hours for a stream.
That's great. That's a great idea. I'm sure there'd be plenty of people. I'm sure you'd raise millions of dollars like that.
I probably would. I mean,
just good Lord knows.
I would donate millions of dollars just for the opportunity to just throw stuff at you for 24 hours.
I'm glad. I'm glad you appreciate
it. But then again, for me, that still wouldn't be, doing something that doesn't benefit myself or someone else, because that would be incredibly enjoyable even for that amount of money. So that wouldn't work, unfortunately, for me. But maybe we could take it in turns.
Yeah, whatever.
See, Tosti's with me. He said he'll pay a solid $100.
Solid $100 for that. I mean, why haven't we done this before? 100. What are we throwing at me? Rocks?
I just said anything. So rocks, water, knives, lightsabers, just whatever. If you survive the night, then we donate more money.
So do strictly ATP.
Oh, that's my sister. What's up?
Hey, Emma.
Yeah.
So what? Like dance? We could just dance. We could dance on screen.
We could do that if there was more than 2 of us. I mean, I am up for doing that next year. Like, for those of you that don't know, I think I talked about it on stream. So I think I tried to get people to go and donate while we were there. My sister Emma did a local dance thing, and she won. Not that I want to sound. I want to sound arrogant, but yeah, my sister won. She's a badass. Yeah, and that was all for charity as well. But yeah, that is a thing that if I have time and stuff, I will potentially get involved with and use the ATP name, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Toasty, that is too far. Like throwing knives at him, that's fine, but licking whipped cream off him.
Hey, there would be plenty of people upset at you licking whipped cream off me.
Why would you want to do that, Toasty?
I don't know.
I mean, $250. Would you do that, Paolo? Would you do it for $250?
Would I do that for $250? I mean, I do it for like $250,000.
Like even for charity, that could be your thing. We don't have to throw knives at you. Just let Toasty lick whipped cream off you.
What area of my body are we talking about?
I'm not sure we want to know the answer to that, but
yeah, Toasty, don't answer that. Never mind. Don't answer that.
No, I do want to know the answer.
I don't.
Yeah, answer it, Toasty. Answer it.
Why the hell does this happen every single show?
I have no idea. We always go off on a subject, it's really serious, and we get sort of,
You're talking about eating and licking whipped cream off my body.
Yeah, it's just our thing. We get into serious topics, then next thing you know, we're marrying cactuses or cacti, whatever, and licking whipped cream off of Paolo's body.
I think like 100 girls. I don't want 100 girls doing it. I want one girl doing it.
Oh dear. I mean, would you let Toasty do it for
well, let Toasty do it if it was like my arms and my chest. If it was for charity, I could do that for charity. If it was just Toasty, yeah. I trust him. Yeah.
Okay, so next charity stream, Toasty, you need to go to DC and we can sort that out. Would we be able to stream it, or would that be considered not safe for work? Do you think we get kicked off Twitch?
No. I think I could just wear like a tank top, and you could like put it just like
Okay.
Whatever, and just cover like my upper, like it'll be like a whipped cream, like how they do that for like on beaches and they cover people in sand. It'd be like that except for whipped cream. No, you cannot lick me. I mean, you could pay $250.
Okay, Toasty's buying planes. So it'll be sort of end of November. Toasty, let's get this sorted. Like, I'm holding you to this. I'm going to remember it. And when it comes to the day, he's always going to be there. Oh, okay. He's doing it now. He's obviously very eager.
Well, if I was going to lip whipped cream off my own body, I would be very eager as well. So.
Oh man.
I really don't know how we're here.
What the fuck fuck happened to the show?
I don't know.
We got really serious. We're on a
happy birthday, Mindless TV. Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, we're on a really good topic, and everything was serious. And I don't even know how do we do it, man.
Who do what?
We normally go from serious topics to fucking bullshit like that.
I don't know. I think it's our ability to speak to the masses with our voices of thunderous reason.
Thunderous reason. I like that.
That's how we do it. It's the ATP way. Always, now, and forever. Honestly, though, next charity stream is going to be the 1-year anniversary of ATP. I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but you can bet that it's going to be long and it's going to be hard.
Did you have to? Did you have to do it like that?
Of course. I mean,
Is there
if I
any
wasn't you,
particular
if I wasn't you, were going to do it.
I was not. I am a very, very mature and clean-minded person.
No,
I
you're
would
not. What are you
stoop
talking about?
to such terrible levels like
No.
you. You are a plague on humanity.
You are so
you should be
inappropriate.
ashamed of
You are
yourself.
so inappropriate. It's like it's not a day talking to you unless you say the word penis. Like, come on, you're 5 years old.
No, I never say the word penis.
Yes, you do. Several times.
No, I say the word dick a lot, but that's
No.
normally calling people a dick.
No. I think there was a direct quote from me that says, quote
Okay,
unquote, fuck you and your penis. You remember that? Exactly.
I remember you saying that.
No. I never said that.
I do. I remember. I don't think I ever said that. I think
You definitely you said that.
I don't think so. I don't think. Okay, I'm gonna go back through our conversations for the last 3 days, and I bet you it will not be on there once.
Here, see? There we go. See?
I can't read that. There's no proof.
There it is. There, see? That's
Oh, did you have to have the other text there as well? Like,
Yes.
Come on.
yes.
Come on.
Yes.
I'm trying not like my family are here. I'm trying to convince them that we are not gay. And you have to put fucking that up there. Are you kidding me?
You know, sometimes Oh, I forgot your family's watching this, sorry.
Oh, it's fine, you know. They're gonna learn anyway.
Hashtag totally kind of gay. Well, if anyone read your last blog post.
Yeah. I should post that as well.
It's been a long time since you've been innocent. See? What is your opinion about e-dating? What do you mean, like dating a girl online? Like,
just in general, like
just in general.
date people you've not met before, sort of thing.
Oh, I think you can totally do it. It can totally work. I mean, you have to meet them eventually, but
Yeah.
e-dating works. I think it can work if you're
I mean,
invested.
it's working for me and Paolo, so you know.
Oh yeah, obviously. Like, look at this. This is like 2.5 years of e-dating. Come on. No, but seriously, it does.
I give up. I'm just gonna let everyone know that we're gay together, even though we're not, just because it's easier than arguing.
I think that, Toasty, to answer your question seriously, I think that if you found someone who makes you really happy and who... And it's not just someone you love because of this, that, and the other. You know, you don't need reasons, you know, because having reasons is stupid, because you're going to rationalize it in your head, and you'd be like, this is X and Y, and I love them, and I like them, and I'm interested in them because of this. And I think that's it's stupid, because having reasons is just a list that you make to yourself to give you to like fulfill some kind of need. And sure, yeah, there are reasons why people get married and why relationships work, but at the end of the day, there's always going to be something there, something that you can't put your finger on, something that just makes you feel things that you can't put into words. And if you find that with someone online, then I say, by all means, go for it. But the important thing to remember is that your life is not online. And yeah, like Kieran and I spend a large portion of our lives online. Obviously less so now because we're both in college and we both have classes and friends and things to do, but you have to be able to see a future. If you're going to date someone online, you have to be able to meet eye to eye on the big things. And when you do finally meet, you have to be able to connect the same that you did online, because there are plenty of people online who pretend to be someone else. There are plenty of people who put on this persona, especially when it comes to certain communities. Like I'm sure there are plenty of quote unquote zombie girls who act completely differently. I know, Toasty, you're part of the the anime community, and there are also plenty of other communities out there online where people just put on these personas and try to be someone they're not, or use it as a way to escape. So that's also the danger of e-dating. But if you can find someone genuine, if you can find someone real, someone who makes you feel things that you can't put on a list, that's when I say it's worth it. But if you can't see meeting them somewhere down the future, somewhere down the line, then I don't think that it's healthy. I don't think that it's something that you should do, because if you're not able to see them, if you're not able to take that electronic relationship and turn it into a real one, you're just going to find yourself sucked and like tugged in this direction that isn't really real life. So that's my opinion on that.
I think a thing to note is the incredible progression of the online life over the last 5-10 years or so. Like 10 years ago, if you'd have said, oh, I met them online and we're dating now, most people would have laughed in your face, because it just wasn't a thing that was done. No one ever did it because it never ever worked out, because people that went on dating sites were desperate or whatever. And sure, maybe 10 years ago that might have been something that was the case for the majority of people, but nowadays you go on a dating website, there are hundreds of thousands of people on there, not because they're desperate, not because they want to try and get out of the loneliness that is being single for some people, but because they want to find someone and they haven't found them in their real life. And I think that's something that e-dating has given the opportunity for some people. Sort of 10-20 years ago, they wouldn't have found the one, as they call it, because they just didn't show up in their life. And there were people that devoted a lot of time to work or to education and stuff, and they'd spend a lot of time not with people that they could consider to be date worthy. Whereas with the progression of the internet, with the progression of the online life, like most people in the stream right now, and both me and Paolo both have fairly significant online personas. We all have me and Paolo we have big Twitter accounts. We had big YouTube accounts that neither of us really use anymore. We've got across the pond. We've both spread across the internet, and you can find us in quite a lot of different places, and that's sort of the thing. 10 years ago you wouldn't have found that, and now everybody and their mothers are on Facebook and Twitter and whatever, and so now it's not so difficult to sort of get that online dating thing to work. And sure, it's still not very likely that you're going to find that exact person that you're looking for, because you're not going to get a complete gauge on what a person's like on the internet. I mean, you have stuff like Tinder where it's based purely on looks, and if you're fuck ugly, then I'm sorry, but you're not going to get anywhere on Tinder. It's just the thing that it's unfortunately true, and I hate to be so blunt about it, but it's true.
You're fuck ugly. Oh my god.
I mean, that's not to say that online dating won't work for you, because it can still, but something like Tinder, it won't, because it's based solely on looks. I mean, if you go on one of these websites where you have interests and stuff like that, and you can display your personality and who you are on there as well. You might find someone that goes, well, they're not my type appearance-wise, but they're definitely my type personality-wise. Let's try and see where things go. And the sort of thing, I feel guilty now for saying people that are fuck ugly can't.
Well, no. I mean, no, Tinder, it's true. I mean, I think Tinder is a very, like, that's not the site for you to use if you. If I don't know,
you're aesthetically impaired.
What the fuck?
go with that.
That isn't better at all. You make them sound like, they were designed poorly, like as if when their body image was being painted, like someone drew like a giant slash across their face, and like that's how they turned out. Like what?
And they're just in the middle of drawing, just sneeze halfway through. Just like, oh no, look at that nose. It could happen. I was gonna make a really good point out of this, and I can't remember what it was now. I had an amazing point, but yeah. So basically, it has to be done in the right way. You can't be on something like Tinder if you want someone to. If you're looking for a relationship based on personality, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, sure that there's a chance it can work, and I know for some people it does, but for most people, like I'd say Tinder is about the worst place you can go if you want to genuinely find someone to date.
Yeah.
I went
like
on
the likelihood is so ridiculous that when it does work out, it's just like a crazy story, So
yeah, it's a 1 in a million thing if it does work out. But that's not to say that the e-dating in general is bad, because as I said, if you can find a place where there's a lot based on personality, and I wonder if there is a dating website out there where you put in you search for someone's interests or something, and then you don't get to see a picture until after you've matched with them.
You can't. I mean, honestly, like personality is great and everything.
Yeah.
I just don't see the world, getting to that point where it's like, personality is everything.
No.
Because honestly, I mean, you can't make babies with a personality, unfortunately. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, I know. But the thing is, you do see couples out there where you see someone incredibly attractive with someone incredibly
unattractive. Yes.
Unattractive, yeah. And 99% of the time when you see that, it's because of money or fame or whatever. But there is every now and again where you see someone incredibly attractive with someone who is way below their league, as they say, and it is because they just sort of gelled personalities and stuff. So I wouldn't say that you're dating the bust, but I mean, you're more likely to be able to find someone, if you're seeing them every day. Like a lot of people, obviously, they get together with friends or co-workers or whatever, and that's how they sort of get together. But it's very difficult to do it through e-dating. I mean, I had one date with a person who I met through Tinder, and the personalities through texting and stuff, they gelled well, and things were going well, and they even came out and watched an episode of Across the Pond, and they enjoyed it and stuff, and so things seemed to be going well. But for whatever reason, when it came to the actual date, or when it came to meeting in person and stuff, things didn't go quite as well as you might have expected. So that's always going to be the main issue with e-dating. You're not going to get a true,
because it's hard, because it's already hard to find someone you're compatible with online, right?
Yeah.
And then taking that into real life is even harder.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, it's a lot easier to be confident online, and you see it all the time when you ask people, what they look for in a partner. One of the first things that most people will say is confidence, and when you're talking through text, or you're talking through emails or whatever, it's easy to be confident because you can take 5 minutes just to
respond.
To think about what you're saying, to make sure you say something that is something that the other person's going to enjoy. Whereas when you're face to face, this is something that I brought up on this date. We actually had this conversation. If you're sat across a table from someone, you're having dinner on the first date, and they say something, and you just sit there and stare at them for 5 minutes while you try and think of something to say, they're going to be weirded the fuck out.
And that's going to be the end. It's going to be like over.
That's just going to be it. So it's a really, really interesting one, because I know people that have had a lot of success with e-dating, and I know people that have had a lot of, I don't want to say failure, because I don't think you can fail at dating. I mean, you can't get worse than being single. I mean,
Yeah.
in relation to dating, obviously, if you were to die, that would be worse.
Yeah,
than
no.
being
I
single.
know what you mean. No, that's actually a really good way of looking at it. You know,
Yeah.
what do you have to lose, honestly? You know, I feel like.
Well, if you were to date someone, you know, who's a bit of a thief, you know, you might lose money or something. You know, you just go on a
or a
date.
serial killer.
Yeah.
Or that's
killer,
another danger of
Exactly.
online dating. I mean,
I feel like that's much less of a danger now because everyone became so aware of that danger. You don't hear of it as often. Obviously, it's still there, and obviously, it's terrible. But I feel like
no, I know you're right.
because maybe it's not that there's less people trying. Maybe it's just that there's so many other people doing the same thing, but doing it genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
That the people that are trying to do it maliciously are just not getting the luck because people who might have otherwise been tempted by their lies are finding people that are genuine and are ending up very happy. So I guess the rise of e-dating in a way has somehow, by some weird method, helped dispel or lessen the issue of people pretending to be someone they're not online.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a strange one. So it's sort of correlation that you don't necessarily expect. You think, you know, more people doing online dating, more people spending a lot of time on the internet, it would get more dangerous because you'd find more people would then be trying to take advantage of that, take advantage of the people who are online. But I feel like there are now so many people that it's so difficult to. It sounds horrible that I'm saying it like this. It makes it sound like I'm one of these people, but yeah, I feel like the internet's an amazing thing. We can all agree on that, but the dangers are always going to be there. But I feel like with the rise of the internet, with the rise of how being online and having yourself displayed online, it's become much less seen much less as a bad thing. People are realizing they can do that and still be a regular human being. People aren't going to look down on them, and I feel like that's actually aiding the issue in a way. I don't know. It's an interesting one. That was a great topic. I didn't expect it to last as long as it did.
No, great job, Toast. I really like that suggestion. Or question, honestly. I say that if you're in a situation where that's something that you need, that's something that you want, then you should go for it. Because I know a lot of the time, just that online fulfillment is like already very, very good because it gives you someone to talk to all the time, and that built-in best friend is.
I mean, sort of as an example. I mean, obviously, me and Paolo, you've seen the bromance on Across the Pond, but as with yesterday, I went and met someone that I met online a few years ago, and we had a really great time, just hanging out. I mean, we were at Eurogamer. We really didn't play many games at all, and we were at a big computer game convention. We just had a lot of fun, just sort of hanging out and spending time together and whatever. And although it's not e-dating because, you know, we're not dating, yeah, even though it's not the same thing, generally it's just friendship. It was very interesting to see how naturally things went from, you know, online friends to real life friends. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't understand, is that, you know, an online friend is a real friend. Because like me and Liz, we were like, we met and we hugged it out and stuff like you would do if you just met, like if you've just seen someone you hadn't seen for a while. We hugged it out and then we got on a taxi and we just chatted away like old friends. And it's just that relationship between me and Liz, and it'll be the same with me and Paolo when I go over to visit him. It's not so much an online friendship. It is a real friendship, and it's great that we've now met, and I can say to people, you know, I've met this person. It's a real life friendship and stuff, and people can't judge me for that anymore. But honestly, I think that's something that's really changed, not just through e-dating and stuff, but something that's just changed in general with the rise of the internet. Is the online friend is now becoming more than just an online friend, and me and Liz and me and you and Andrew, and it's a perfect example of that. Absolutely.
And like, you know, with what your sister just said, you know, her future husband is someone that she met online, granted through a friend of a friend, but the whole online chatting and doing all that without ever having met them is, like, I think it does help in certain situations, especially like if you do find that chemistry. And there are certain things that you can tell even through online. Well, granted, you can't get a sense of a person, you can't get what their emotions are like, you can't get a read there, because everyone has a certain energy to them, and you can't get that. But on the phone, for example, if there's comfortable silence instead of awkward silence, you know that's something that's going to help you a lot down the line, because life isn't always going to be so loud. There's going to be silences, and if the silence is comfortable, it's something that's going to help you out. And like Emma said, it's definitely a big confidence builder if you can talk to someone online first before meeting them, especially since you know what to talk about. It's not going to be the awkwardness involved, and you're going to know what to do, basically. So that's my stance on it. But then again, it ends up with meeting them, like dating someone for a year without ever having met them. Like, that's treading to the point where you gotta meet them, otherwise you're just gonna be trapped. Maybe even a year is fine, or maybe 2 years, 3 years. Like that's the point where this person is a huge part of your life, but without having met them, you can't really move forward emotionally.
Yeah. That was a great topic.
It was
a great topic.
Hey, Panda.
Thank you for that one.
Welcome. Now we are saying goodbye, so this is kind of awkward.
Yeah, we're about to end. Sorry, Panda.
It's okay. This episode will be on Twitch and YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube, yeah. But I think we're gonna play around, try and change the day, maybe, because most people don't seem to be able to come out for Sundays. So.
Well, I mean, we did get a lot more people near the end. Like Big Ben is here now too.
So. Oh, everyone's coming as we have to go. This is typical.
What's up? Maybe we should just start later. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Maybe, yeah. The problem we have is I have 9
Wait,
a.m.
Thursdays. You said Thursdays would work perfectly.
Let me have a look.
Because you don't have any classes on Friday.
Yeah, no, I don't. So, Thursday would be perfectly fine.
Thanks, Toasty. Thanks for starting your hosting. I started hosting. You can start hosting on your channel.
Wait, really? You can host other streams?
And it like tweets it out, and people can come watch through there. Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty cool. We can get maybe some of my old viewers to.
I mean, Fridays would be amazing if we could, but I work on Fridays.
Yeah, and I do not want to be doing
this on a Friday. Like this is not
Friday night.
This is not it's not a Friday thing. We're in college, and unfortunately.
I'm in a flat with 4 other people who do love to go out and party, and I don't have a problem with it doing that, but it's the walls are thin enough that you wouldn't be able to hear me, or you would be able to hear them, and it's not fair on them for me to ask them to be quiet on a Friday night so I can do a podcast. So. Thursdays are good, I think.
Yeah, we'll see.
That was the old day.
Yeah, we'll see how it works. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for coming out, guys. This is an awesome show. Got a little weird as usual, but overall it was very productive. You can catch whatever you missed on Twitch, on YouTube. We will we'll see you guys later. Thank you for coming out. Remember to follow our Twitter for the latest updates. Follow Kieran and I on Twitter, but you all already do, so that's kind of pointless.
Anyone that's watching that doesn't follow me on Twitter, they're all below. They're all below. I know I put it on Facebook earlier, and I've added like 20 new friends in the last week. So.
Oh, they're cool.
I've just moved to uni. People are adding me. I should point that out. They added me. I didn't add them. Oh, go fuck yourself, bitch.
No, what the fuck? No.
You're pointing the wrong way, man.
Fuck.
Wow.
Alright, bye guys. See ya later. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Never again. Alright.